Councilman Lattradi,
Here.
Councilman Messier,
Here.
Councilman Bourget,
Here.
Council Vice President Williamson,
Here.
Council President Goslin. There
Here.
is a quorum on record. Consent agendas, approval of the minutes from the November 1st, 2022 regular town council meeting.
For the record, I'm recusing myself from D2. So if you want to vote on D1,
So move approval of the minutes.
Second.
move in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And I'll be recusing from D2.
D2.
Cancellation of taxes in the amount of $49,449.89 as requested by the tax assessor.
Move approval of the cancellation of taxes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Business licenses, request from the Friends of West Warwick Public Library for a raffle license.
Well, yeah, do we want to do them individually or do we want to just do by?
What's the date
business.
of that? Just for my own personal note. Does it say it on there?
Yeah, it's on the attachment.
I have my,
In a second, once I zoom in, even with glasses, I
might
gotta
be of
zoom.
note to the people that are
November
watching.
28th through December 10th.
It's worth it if anybody's out there watching. It's a good event. They have a lot of really good raffles over there, at the library.
So you want to do all of them, victualling, house license, dance live band,
Well, no,
No,
theatrical?
All business licenses at once. You want to
1,
read
2,
them?
3, and 4.
Move approval of the business licenses 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I second.
Any discussion? Any public discussion on these licenses? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I am gonna recuse.
Victualling house license renewals.
I'm gonna
Move
recuse myself.
approval of victualling house license renewals, item 01 to 46.
I'm gonna recuse myself from the next
I'll second that.
whole agenda.
Moved 1 to 46. Seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Dance live band license renewals.
Move approval of items 01 to 09.
Second.
Moving seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And I need to recuse myself from the next group.
So I just need somebody to make a motion. It's just the three of us now.
Theatrical performance, shows and exhibits.
I'll make a motion to approve theatrical performances, shows and exhibition licenses 01 through 16.
Second.
Moving seconded. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Donation bin license renewals.
Move approval of 01 to 05.
Second.
Moving second. Any discussion? Any public discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Appointments and resignations. Resignation of Patricia Lally from the West Warwick Board of Assessment and Review.
Move approval of the resignation.
Second.
Moving seconded. Any discussion?
I just want to thank Patricia for serving. I actually was part of appointing her over 10 years ago. And so that's how long she has served, and she really enjoyed it. She just knows that it's her time due to health reasons to have to step aside. So thank you very much, Patricia.
No, and if we can send her a letter of thank you on behalf of the town.
So
Question on that. There's Sal's here. The three members on that board, correct?
Yes.
Now, are we, obviously, we have one left, one down. Are we down two or are we down one?
We're just down one.
Okay, so nothing can be done unless we have the three, correct?
No, we
You-
can run on two. We've been running on two.
Okay,
That's missed the last couple of meetings. I spoke with her husband a couple of times, and she did a great job while she was here and stuff. So I really appreciate what she was doing. Thank you. So we've been running on two, but if there's a tie, then that's like a denial
okay,
over there. So anyone knows a real estate appraiser, a real estate agent, a banker, someone that's looking to do a little community service. It is a paid board, so they get paid by the meeting. We still have a few more meetings left coming up this year. I know we have one scheduled for Thursday, and they would have to do a couple more for the outstanding
Is this,
appeals.
you have to be a West Warwick resident for this
Yes.
board, right? Correct?
Think so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
A request from Jessica Rubery for reappointment as an alternate on the Juvenile Hearing Board for a
Move a-
term ending December of 2026.
Move approval of,
Second.
Move in second, any discussion? I know Jess personally, and I know the chairman of the board is very happy with her performance in the way she handles matters at the meeting, so I definitely see a great reappointment here. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
A request from Joshua Barrett for a reappointment to the West Warwick Housing Authority for a term ending November of 2027.
Move approval.
Move in second, any discussion? Again, Josh, I know he does a great job on that board. He always contacts me. I think he contacts you when he has any concerns or issues.
Down at the manor, yep, for sure.
Basically for our two buildings. So again, great appointment. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
A request from Laurie Ruggieri for reappointment to the West Warwick Housing Authority for a term ending November of 2027.
Move approval.
Second.
Moving second, and Lori, same thing, very active, keeps us abreast of things that are going on, contacts us. It's another great appointment, reappointment. Any other comment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
New business, request from the Police Department for a purchase of three 2022s all-wheel drive Dodge Chargers in the amount of $140,454.84.
Move approval of the request.
Second.
Chief? You're gonna be coming for like a different model next month?
I hope not. I hope not. Good evening. As part of the police department's 10-year capital improvement program pertaining to the police vehicle fleet, I am respectfully requesting that the town council consider approving the purchase of 3 new police vehicles for use by our patrol division. I'm requesting authorization to purchase the following vehicles from Central Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Rainham in Rainham, Mass, using the 2022 State of Rhode Island contract bid pricing, and shall be funded through the Police Detail Vehicle Fund account. The 3 vehicles, including upfitting, total price is $140,454.84.
Any questions for the chief? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Resolution appointing Jeff Codwell to the position of Director of Department of Public Works.
Move approval.
Second.
Moving second. Mark?
Good evening. As you're all aware, we had a vacancy come about in the DPW director position. Jeff Caldwell has stepped up in the acting role, and I believe he's performed admirably there since that date. Based on a review of his recent performance, I recommend him for the permanent position without reservation. Acting Director Caldwell knows the intricacies of our community, has worked on several real and perceived issues within the department, has started instituting his vision and plans to bolster morale, the perception and the performance of this vital organization, providing critical services to our citizens. Mr. Caldwell is a 7-year employee of the town, having served at the wastewater facility, DPW, and currently serves as our acting director. Jeff has established a solid reputation, has enhanced the performance of a great team caring for our recreation facilities, and has been very responsive and effective in his time at DPW. He offers tremendous interpersonal skills, a positive image of municipal service, and a record of promoting teamwork to accomplish the various missions and duties required of that job. So I respectfully request your support with this recommendation.
I wholeheartedly, I mean, Jeff, you've done a great job. I think you've earned it. You've deserved it. I get a number of compliments on a weekly basis for the work that you've done. So
I called Jeff more than my own mother, I think. I don't know if that's ever- My mom's not watching the meeting. But Jeff's super responsive. I mean, he gets stuff done in the days, sometimes when maybe in a different time, maybe it would take weeks or months to get certain things done. He's responsive almost to a fault. I don't know if how his family life's going, but he's responsive at, even we had a conversation recently where he said, listen, somebody had called him, a friend of ours, and he's like, just not before 5 a.m, please. That's how responsive Jeff is. So I think this is well-deserved, and yeah, definitely support this.
In fact, it
So
was on the
Jeff,
ballot.
you've earned it.
We should probably mention
Earned
it.
it. Good job.
I guess I'll be the only naysayer. Just kidding. No, Jeff, I mean, I push and push and push communication. And no matter what, you've always gotten back to me. There was one time you didn't, and you said, oh, I'm sorry, because you apologized. But I'm like, you don't have to apologize. I understand you're busy, but you always get back to me within a time. You either answer right away or get back to me in a very quick time frame. And I really appreciate that. And as far as what Jay was saying about getting a hold of him, what his family life could possibly be like, and walking my dogs at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, here he is driving the neighborhood looking at things.
Yes.
So I fully support this.
It probably should be noted that there was a question on the ballot on Tuesday, because our town charter did have a provision that said that an engineering degree was required. And the people of the town overwhelmingly recommended that that be removed. And I think partly because they knew that you might be the guy that would get the job. So.
Yeah, and I think it says something that universally you were applauded by different sides of the political aisle. I think everybody supports the job you're doing. So I think that says something.
And the one thing I'll say is, when people talk about that engineering degree, and people called me about that specifically, I said, we have an engineer that we can reach out to any given day, which was Jim Jeremiah, and the question was, well, why don't we need an engineer's degree? I says, I don't care about the engineer's degree. I care about results. And, and as Jay said earlier, and Mary Beth and everybody else said, is, there's times that we put work orders in, or we've asked for something to be looked at or get done, and it's taken 6 months, a year. I don't think I've seen anything last more than 25 days. Sometimes it's the same day, next day. And if it's something that's going to take a little time, you let us know and you get back to us. Your department seems to be running very smooth on the park side and the other side. So I got to say, Jeff, and I said it earlier at the Arctic Village Association, this year alone, I know I didn't get a single complaint about ball fields. I didn't get a single complaint about anything unusual. It's been definitely an eye opener, a breath of fresh air, and hopefully the men and women that serve down there and in your department continue supporting you and you supporting them, because it's been a great few months. So, and it's good to see the results happening.
Yeah, and it started with, when you were in Parks and Rec with the bike paths, I remember the bike paths used to be an issue in this town. And when you took over Parks and Rec, I know that it was between night and day, and they've continued. I don't think I got a complaint about the bike path in the last 2 years. So.
Now, if we appoint you.
So don't feel
I don't
any
expect
pressure.
any-
There's no pressure here, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
now, you set the bar.
Yeah.
Now, if you get appointed, I don't expect change.
Yeah.
It's like when you bring flowers when you start dating a girl, you better still show up with those the next
Yeah.
time you go out there. Once you change your Facebook status,
And people notice too, and
Yeah.
I know I've
Absolutely.
gotten a ton of compliments on
Absolutely.
just the amount of work that's been getting done. Not to inflate Jeff's ego anymore. But they notice, whether it's just for an example, the other day, and I can't even believe my street sometimes, and I get just stopped on everything. And one of the things one lady said just about her drain being the leaves taking away from the drain prior to the storm, which means so much, because I've had to fight in the past and call to the point where I did it myself. And I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. But people notice those little things. It means a lot to people. So keep it up, really.
yeah, and we'll get back to you after the first snowstorm.
I don't get a lot of compliments phone calls, but I'm getting a lot less complaint phone calls, so I'll take that as a positive as well. So thank you.
That being said, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations, Jeff.
You have anything you want to add? Do you want to come up at all? All right. It's a moment to shine. We
And
can-
no, you can't take vacation next week. Yes.
Thanksgiving week is off the
Yeah.
limits.
It's been 6 months. I'm due.
Yeah.
Well, Dave has 2 more Christmas trees he wants you to put up in Phoenix before the end of the week.
Yeah,
Wasn't my fault.
I'm gonna plant one next to that one, and on the other side, we're gonna mom,
in
dad, and
case.
2 kids, you know? But I thank you for this opportunity. I really, really enjoy and I love working for this town. It's a great town to work for. Like you said, the guys at the Parks Department and DPW, we had a big turnaround at DPW and the guys really are working hard for me. And we have a good rapport. Obviously, we all have our issues, but they're doing a great job. They're getting work done in a timely manner. They're doing it correctly. I don't have any complaints on the way anybody's doing their job. I think they're doing a wonderful job. And we're just gonna keep going forward and forward and forward and, you know, things are gonna be good. We have a great group of guys there. And really, I think things are going wonderful. A lot of work to be done, a lot of work to be done. And with the support of the council and everything, we can get a lot done, a lot more done.
Thank you. And I know that Mark brought it up, but in addition to the work you're getting done, thank you for being so responsive, because that's huge for us. When we get complaints from constituents, it's not always about being able to fix them immediately. It's about at least giving them information like, hey, this is going to be done this time frame, or this is going on. Keeping us informed is the most important thing.
I found out a lot with the constituents in town is all they want is a phone call back. They want to hear a voice. And if you talk to them, it's not so much when you're going to get it done. They just want you to know what their problem is. And
Keeping them
if you
informed, for
keep
sure.
them in the loop, you don't hear any complaints.
For sure.
And
So-
I know walking Carson Street before the election, I knocked on the guy's door and said, DPW was here 4 years ago and told me they're gonna fix that. 4 years, never got fixed. He's
It's been dig safe and it's on.
safe and marked. It
two
never got
more.
done before. Just
It'll
got-
be done within a month. It'll be done. Just remember all this come budget time.
Yeah, well, there's always expenses to it, exactly.
But no, I appreciate it and
but-
I
but-
look forward
I
to,
know you joke when you said that, but I think from talking to taxpayers, it's if stuff's getting
They see
done,
results.
if they see results, there,
Yeah.
it's a different situation than when they're paying for something and stuff's not done.
no,
So
like,
I-
and like I said, every department head, everybody from the council to department heads, everybody's been great. I think everybody works together. I think we have a good core of people in department heads and working for the town. And I think all we can do is go forward. I think it's great. So thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Congratulations again,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Love that.
Gonna need it.
That's nice.
I don't think he heard you. Discussion of issues with MTG disposal.
I put this on the agenda late. Basically because I'm just sick of getting the calls that my yard waste isn't getting picked up. So no fault of Nicole's. We had a conversation. Like I said, and Jeff actually just mentioned communication. I believe we left the last meeting with Mega when they were here. Those are my issues with them, is timeliness and communication. And again, I don't work for Mega. I don't want to play in their schedule. But when you're supposed to pick up yard waste on a certain date, on a certain day, and you don't, there's got to be a reason why. But I think we've had too many reasons why. So I put this on for discussion with the council. I don't know if you guys are getting any more complaints about yard waste, but during the season, when you're picking up in July and you're grabbing 2 bags of grass, you can do, 10 streets. When you're picking up at this time of the year, even though you're coming every week, you're picking up 10, 15 bags of leaves. So you're really doing probably 4 to 5 times more volume, which will fill the truck faster. I understand all that, but so should they. And our contract is with Mega. So when the constituents are calling saying, I'm putting my yard waste out, and I'm just going to give an example. It's supposed to be picked up on a Tuesday of week 1. It doesn't get picked up till Friday. What's going on? And in between, if we have a rain or windstorm, what do I do with the bags? So I had the impression in last meeting where, all right, truck A is doing Church Street and they only picked up half of it. My understanding would be they'd be out there the next morning to pick up the other half. Sometimes that doesn't happen. So then the constituent says, what do I do with it? Now you look at Church Street, a cut through, main road, not a plat. So at that point, what do we do with it? There should have been a call from the driver to Mega or email, whatever it is, communication, the driver to Mega, Mega to Nicole. So at least Nicole knows what's going on. So when I call Nicole at 7 o'clock in the morning, or when I get the call at 3 in the afternoon, because people wait. All right, now it's the end of the day. 2 days later, they haven't shown up yet. What do I do? So then they pick up on a Friday, then they're supposed to come next Tuesday. So we're really not getting the full week that we're paying. And I know we're paying a lot of money for Mega. And I understand there's a staff shortage everywhere, all over the world, but we have the contract with Mega, they should plan for that. So if they're picking up, and this is just a suggestion, I don't want to bring a problem without a possible solution. If garbage recycling and yard waste is the same day, right, per house.
Yes.
Maybe, just a suggestion, if this could work, instead of do garbage recycling week 1 and then garbage yard waste week 2. So you're sending out less trucks, same amount of people. May not work, I don't know, but this isn't working. So
Is your problem just with yard waste though? Because
Yeah.
that is not the case that I
my
have.
problem has only been with
Yeah,
yard.
this week I've gotten, just in the last 2 days, was gonna bring it up after the meeting. Pond Street today I got one from Eddie Riverdale area. I don't know if they were behind. I always tell them, just leave it out and leave a message for you. One of the numbers I have memorized is this is the number to call down there and make your complaint, and obviously it's not your fault, but I just make yourself aware, because the one for Pond Street, I don't know if they had just forgotten.
Was that yard waste?
No, it was
No.
not yard waste. It was,
Yeah.
is this a trash and recycling week? It was just trash. Yeah.
The
Just
the
trash.
bad news is Nicole heard from me today also because we have an ongoing issue on Penta Street,
Okay.
which we have had for forever. So
Yours was a trash or yard waste?
mine's recycle.
Okay, we got the trifecta.
And mine's trash because I was up at Lincoln, working in another whole part of the state. And a guy wanted to talk about his mother's trash on Landfair. They keep taking her garbage can because it's a smaller
35
can,
gallon.
and they dump it and they put the arm back down, but there's no can there anymore. It's in the truck. So, I mean, it's not the
They should
first time.
plan for that. I mean, obviously, that happened again. We talked last winter about that.
Mm.
I waited, I don't know, what was it, 2 months for another garbage can? I'm picking up his garbage, you're picking up his garbage. We don't work for Mega. So there needs to be some type of accountability. You know, and I'm not trying to be a hard ass up here, but
Percentage
we
off
have a
the pay.
contract. Well, especially yard waste, we're only, it's 26 weeks, correct?
Correct.
So again, when you add up 26 weeks and you say they supposed to come every Tuesday, and they come Tuesday and they pick it up on Saturday, Friday or Saturday. And then they come the next Tuesday,
They cut out the time.
they cut out the week. So you add all that up, we're paying for 26.
Mhm.
We're really getting, I would say, over the
Something
course of the
less,
year, maybe
right.
23 or so. Which is a big difference. 3 weeks is a big difference, because you can add that on to a busy season in the spring. So I just think we're paying for a service, a lot of money for a service, and we're getting shortchanged.
So my understanding is that most communities outsource this at this point in time. I believe.
Mhm. Right. Most municipalities, if you look at the matrix from Rhode Island Resource Recovery, it's most are private. Mhm.
So we have a contract and the contract is good through
2025.
the end of the year,
June of 25.
Mhm.
June of 25. So we still have 2.5 years of
Correct.
this
Are there-
perhaps. So maybe we need to figure out, are they
So-
meeting the terms of the contract or not?
They would have to breach the contract, and you'd have to define what would the breach be of, and I've got the definition, well, what could be a definition? So I was just looking at it. So they would have to be in a substantial negligence in their job. So what are we defining as substantial? They do go back and pick it up. They do go back and resolve. Do you know what I mean? So we'd have to define, I think, set really what we're defining as a substantial breach. The other thing, if there's anything, it says here, such causes that cannot be considered a breach would include without limitation acts of God, acts of federal, state, or local governments, fire, floods, and epidemics. So could they look at, we're still recovering from COVID? We don't,
Which we will be, that'll be used as a.
correct.
Yeah.
Volcanic eruptions, quarantine. So, I mean, we do have the breach in the contract, but there's room for defining.
I think there's
So-
room,
so
I think there's room for, sorry, I was gonna say, there's a conversation of, they're still gonna be up in 2025. So there's room for, if they don't do their job right in 2.5 years, they're gonna have somebody else there.
Figure it
So I
out.
think that's enough of like a, rather than threaten to leave now, it's like, I mean, obviously now is the issue, but
Right.
if they don't do a better job, we'll
It's
have
the
to look into an
inconsistency. It's the
alternative.
inconsistency.
Lack of communication.
Right.
I mean, when we call you, you don't know about it. You should know about it from them before you know about it from us and be able to say.
Or if
"Yep,
they're
I'm
falling
aware of it."
behind, exactly. And that was what I had asked at the last meeting, that if you're falling behind, let me know. We've got the code red alert system. We'll let the town know. They don't need to put it out the end of the week. At least they're getting it done that week.
We had him here. It wasn't,
James Simino from
Yes.
Make a Disposal.
however, wasn't there another meeting after that took place after that?
We had met prior to it.
Oh, prior to it.
Mm.
Okay. So,
I want to say something positive about them. Honestly, I think they do a good job overall. There is the scheduling issues because the lack of manpower, because nobody wants to work anymore, because there's so-called pandemic and the federal government doing all the nonsense they did, knocking a whole bunch of people out of the workforce.
That is a
You know, so
problem. And that's the
that is a problem.
inconsistency with not
Right.
rerouting and people missing streets because you've got new people. I
But with-
do understand that
But with
too.
all that being said, I know from last December, we were well past our contract time
Mhm.
and he still sent trucks out to take care of the town, you know?
Because
So-
of the issues that we had.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the issue. So, I mean, it's not like they're not trying to be responsible. They are trying to be responsible. This goes back to what you said, the communication just has to get better between the town and them. So we can get all on the same page and try and make this work to.
We can
to the
set
best
that
for
up
our-
again
our
to just have
Yeah.
maybe a more regular conversation to bring up those deficiencies. And I agree, the communications,
It's awful.
is the hard part. But once you get it going, and you've, mentioned this with the DPW director position, you have the potential to shine when you communicate effectively.
Right.
And it's very doable. I've always suggested there that, they need a better road supervision system. Even though their operations manager more often than not is out in a truck himself doing a route. So
And
not really overseeing if you're handling a route.
that's what I was gonna say, is I know, is his name Mike?
Mike Nunes is the operations manager that I talk and communicate with and email daily.
But that's the one that was going out last December on his own, in his own
Correct.
truck. picking
Correct.
up yard
Right. So I
waste.
commend them on that, but
Right.
like.
And then we
Councilman
did have- we
Lichardi
had-
said,
Oh, I'm sorry.
is this is a hard time of year. Our leaves I drag them out Monday night, knowing that chances are they're not going to get picked up on Tuesday, because like you said, every one of my neighbors has 15 bags out. Daylight's going to go away, the truck's going to get full, the landfill's going to close. So they're coming back. But it would be nice to know that,
Where they finished off.
where they finished off, that they're starting up again.
Because because if a constituent calls me, I'm never gonna tell them, like, pull your bags in, because they're gonna take the chance they show up the next day.
The last debacle I had.
Leave 'em out, 'cause they'll clean it up.
Always,
Exactly.
leave-
Yeah.
yes.
They'll
The
clean
last
it up.
debacle I had was East Main Street and they missed all of it plus a couple of Sunrise.
Providence
And
Street.
Sunday morning, I know I had messaged you, you weren't even in the state, but Sunday morning, they didn't have the regular truck to pick it up with the arm. They had two guys in the back of a truck picking up every one of them down East Main and Sunrise. So they got to it next day because they did miss it on Saturday because it was a day late. So they missed that whole section, but they did come out on a Sunday morning and do it. And
So we'll set something up and
Give them
focus
that.
on the communication.
Right.
just a
Content.
yeah.
yes, to let them come here and speak to us, and then have things slide again. And my guess is they're having similar situations in other communities. I would
Yes,
assume.
yeah, and I did speak to him about that as well, and I let them know if you want to come, they're talking about some issues, if you want to present. He's like, there are issues everywhere, Nicole. And it is, I do know it's a turnaround of employees.
Maybe
And
they've taken on too much. I mean, that's up to them, but I mean, if you can't be 100% everywhere. it's
So
not
if
everywhere.
you don't know, I think 3 of the trash companies all merged.
Right.
So
Right.
Patriot, Mega
and Waste Connections,
Waste Connections
correct,
all merged to one. So those 3 companies that used to
are
be
now under
three,
Waste Connection.
all under one.
Mhm.
So that could be part of the scenario.
See, that's the thing, we don't know. We should know, we're the customer. You know, if Mark wasn't communicating with us as a town manager, which
Right.
you're an excellent communicator,
Right.
then what would we be saying about him?
Is there a change of control provision in that contract? Just something to look at, perhaps?
Oh, when it got bought out by Waste Connections?
So lots of times contracts do have change of control provisions which allow parties
So
to
this
get
was
out.
signed
So-
after they had been taken over by Waste Connection.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
I found that out by total accident because we used to have Patriot come by and I see Mega coming by and I'm like, what the heck happened here?
Amiga's been there for.
Or sometimes when
No.
Miga's truck goes down, you'll see a Patriot truck and people are like,
So you'll
what's this?
you'll
Yeah,
see all 3 trucks.
correct.
The last thing for anybody who might be listening, what's the actual last week of collections this year for yard waste?
So it's the mid-week of December, I think December 13th is the end.
Okay.
So rather than the first, we went one further in.
What are we doing for trees?
Christmas trees. What happens?
That's always been handled by the Department of Public Works, so that will continue to do.
Wood chipper.
I have a couple ideas, but
Okay.
No, and it is great to wood chip because then we use the weight of the trees as a deferment in the recycling and all those tons are great. So it's great that that's happened. That happens through
So
DPW.
would they be willing to
People
go
have to pick trees.
later if needed?
I think if we had a meeting and we sat down and we should talk to them about that, yeah.
I hope it's nice enough into December that we can ask to go later, because I'd
Well,
like
I
to
just
not
think-
do snow.
I just think they
Right.
may, if they're constantly backed up like this.
They most likely, honestly,
I think they
Councilman,
owe us some answers.
I expect they probably would just because they're so far behind. Unless we do some quick catch up soon. It seems like everything has just fallen,
Because-
where last year nothing was.
But you set in this year, because I know they extended into December, but last year they were not set to go to December, right? It was gonna end the last.
It
week of
was just
November.
like within that first weekend of December and we requested that they make up because
I got you.
performance. Yeah. So we will schedule another meeting.
Just let us know
That's what we
if
will
there's
do.
something that we can do and however we can let everyone in town know, because what you're saying is it's not just Ward 4 or Ward 1, it's all over town. So
Correct. Mhm.
we need to be
And
able
then
to let
some of the
people know
other
that.
inconsistencies, but yeah,
Yes.
we'll work on that. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Upcoming appointments, Sewer Use Board of Review, appointment to fill a vacancy as an alternate member for 3-year term. Sewer Use Board of Review, appointment to fill a vacancy as a regular member for a 3-year term. Juvenile Hearing Board, appointment or reappointment as alternate member for the 4th-year term expiring December 2026. West Warwick Housing Authority, 3 appointments or reappointment for a 5-year term expiring 2027.
Paula, I assume that juvenile hearing is
Going to be removed.
is Jess Rubry and that Josh and Lori are taking 2 of those 3.
Yep, those will come
Perfect.
off.
Thank you.
And you're going to be adding the Board of Assessment and Review to the next one?
Correct.
Okay. That'll be available as of like tomorrow for people to start putting applications in if anybody's
Yeah,
listening.
they
So,
can come in tomorrow.
okay.
Public forum.
Any public comment? Joe, is there anything online?
No,
nothing at all.
Hearing none?
Happy Thanksgiving. Real quick, I just want to remind everybody, we got 2 before the next meeting. We got 1 before the next meeting, 2?
December
2 before the next meeting. All right, so we have 2 the next meeting. We have, of course, Phoenix Square coming up on Thanksgiving night from 6 to 8 o'clock. Is the tree lighting, is that correct, Mr. Gauze?
Yes.
And then the Monday after Thanksgiving, the Arctic tree lighting. going to take place from 5 till about 8. I know the West Warwick Middle School Band is playing to start off this year, and then Santa arrives, Tony Petrarca, and then Jerry Taylor comes and gets all those great pictures with Santa Claus. You can pick them up at CVS the next day. So,
Yes, thank.
Ariel will be here.
one of them.
okay. Also,
And again, and I just want to throw out a public thank you to Northeast Tree Service and Jeff and Parks and Rec. We went through 3 trees in one hole in 9 days. So anybody sees the new tree in Phoenix, it's now a 20-footer. A customer of Northeast Trees bought the tree, paid for it, and then decided they didn't want it. And Northeast reached out to us. For the record, I was minding my business and Jeff sent me the picture. And I said, wow, that's a beautiful tree. That would look good in Phoenix. And sure enough, that was on Friday, and on Monday it was installed. So it now has a 20-foot tree there, and it's everybody seems to be happy in the neighborhood. So thank you once again to Northeast Tree and Jeff.
And I would also like to thank the town clerk's office for all the work they did during election season. I mean, early voting, mail ballots,
It's crazy.
the number of people, and I was happy to see that there were a number of young people that were actually working in the polls. So I hope that they will stay involved, but a tremendous amount of work done, and I just wanted to publicly thank them.
Yeah, great. I think almost 1,500 early votes came through town hall, right? Some 14 and change.
And congratulations to you two, to the left and to the right of me, and your victories.
And to the guy in the middle.
There you go.
So, again, once the Board of Elections certifies everything and the Board of Canvassers will have swearing in. I think Mark said Sarah's looking at
December 5th. December 5th. Yep.
So that's a Monday night. So if anybody has any plans that night. Again, like she said, it was a long grueling year for elections. I mean, we had just a special election last year. We had a town financial meeting, and then we had this all within a little over 12 months apart. So good job. And again, I hope everybody who's been involved stays involved.
Thanks. Anything else? No? Okay.
All the public comment?
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.